Welcome inside the Treehouse for this very special Christmassy edition with me, Dan O'Malley, along with Trey Trenholm and Raj Sharma. And I know, Raj, you're wondering why it is I'm wearing a tropical style shirt on the quote unquote holiest of holy days on the Christian calendar, Christmas. And that is because I am in full on vacation mode. And when I am in vacation mode, I like to show it. And the shirt is not the only way I do so.
Oh my goodness. No.
Living on paradise is so hard. He needs a vacation.
It is, Trey. Sometimes so much sun becomes troubling and you need a break in it. So
much sun and 78 degrees is just monotonous.
85, Trey. 85.
Oh, my bad. God, it's a heat wave. Heat wave in December.
Actually, no, it is Christmas, so it's more like 81, 82. So it is the Christmas winds are a blowing, as they say.
Hang
on, I keep putting my hat on wrong.
Aren't you always in vacation mode?
No, I'm in work mode most of the time. I just happen to live in a tropical environment where everyone assumes you're on vacation all the time.
Gotcha. Okay. I'm guilty as charged. I made the assumption.
That's the reason why the whole joke started that Tara and I just started telling people we live in Oklahoma, because no one's ever envious of anyone being in Oklahoma, and no one ever thinks you're just screwing around not working in Oklahoma, because by God, if you're in Oklahoma, you're either working or, well, doing some other illegal activities. Point is, it's Christmas, and we are here for you, because I know that in addition to gift giving and general Christmas merriment that a lot of people like to partake in on this day, there's also a number of people that just absolutely hate it and want nothing to do with it, or they feel like they're trying to find any escape from their friends and family that they can find. We welcome you.
I never had the issue of being surrounded by annoying family members on this day, because we didn't celebrate. It was nice. Like the people in the neighborhood, like back in growing up in Mesquite, the people in the neighborhood were nice. They would come over and offer for us to come join their festivities. But that was also a solid no for the most part for them. Like I would go, I'd go across the street to my buddy Sonny's house or AJ's house. My parents wouldn't go because my dad's was a vegetarian. So going over there, even green beans were made with bacon or ham. Yeah. So he couldn't even have the green beans. So it was just one of those things. It's kind of, so when you guys talk about being around annoying family members, I was like, tell me more stories. I don't know what this is like.
Oh, Trey and I are full of them. Believe me.
Yeah. Is there one particular family member that sticks out? Thank God we don't have to see them anymore.
Ooh, hang on. Let me think. You know what? Not really. Oh, okay. No, that means it's me. And as I realize, as I'm saying that wearing a Hawaiian shirt and a Santa hat that says "nice" on it, so I can understand now why it probably could be me.
Now, did you buy the hat to fit over the headphones?
No, this was an afterthought. Usually when this hat is being worn, it's at a bar on Christmas or Christmas Eve, and headphones do not come into play.
Oh, I got you. Okay. You wore this out.
Yes, of course.
You wore this to places. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Got to be festive.
Okay. That is amazing.
I meant the Hallmark Channel ran on vodka.
That's I saw this great. Do you remember the restaurant El Arroyo? You'll remember El Arroyo there, Trey.
Yeah, on Greenville, just south of Walnut Hill.
Yeah, and then there's one in I think Austin.
The original one's in Austin.
Yeah. There was one when I was in college. There was one in San Marcos. So that was a lot of fun. But they have some of the best. Their billboards are the best. And you just brought up this. I just copied this the other day because it made me laugh so hard. It says, "What has 15 actors, 3 settings, 2 writers, and 1 plot line? 642 Hallmark movies."
Look, go ahead, Trey.
Oh, I was going to say, Dan, and to be honest with you, I would think that Hallmark movies are fueled off vodka and regret for life decisions and everything else that people have made that has landed them working on Hallmark movies.
Yeah.
The thing is, though, it's still a good gig because every year they need some slightly different version of the same movie.
I know.
And they probably only have like 10 people that write those things, and they just sort of like really sad elves
Yeah.
in Santa's sweatshop. It's the Hallmark writers locked up year after year, having to come up with just slightly different versions of the same movies.
Yeah,
I almost became the 11th person. 2 years ago, I made it to uh, the almost the final round with producers for a Hallmark movie called I Believe in Santa, um,
And
which
which
is
role were you up for?
the
Please say
the
Santa.
lead. No, I wish.
Hallmark's not that forward yet.
No, no, not at all. But I was the lead actor's best friend. So I mean, I did the self tape in California, submitted it, and it was hilarious. It was my old agent, who's now a manager, just reached out and he goes, "Hey, I got." He just sent me a text message. Goes, "Hey, I got this for you. I need you to self tape." And I hadn't talked to him in 3 years. That's the message I get, and I go, "Cool. How the f you been, man?" And so I sent the self tape in, and I came back to Dallas, and he's like, "Hey, man, they loved you, so we're going to do another screening." And I was like, "All right." And then a Zoom call, and I did the Zoom call, and then they brought in the actors who were also the writers, and it's a husband and wife team. It's John. The guy's name is John Ducey. He's been in a bunch of stuff. His wife replaced the blonde girl on that '70s show when she was going through her thing. So that was who that was. I can't remember their names. And then it went to, they loved it. And then it went to the producers, and he loved it. And I didn't hear anything back. And they went with this very Indian, but very flamboyantly gay character. They changed the character.
So
Instead of being,
the moral of the story is you weren't gay enough for Hallmark.
yes.
Okay, that made the last 3 minutes worthwhile. What is it, Trey?
I'm just curious. Has there been a Bollywood production or reproduction of The Notebook? Because I want to see that.
Oh, I'm sure there has. They've copied everything. And I'm sure I'll find it for you. I'm sure there is. The one I watched the other day was a remake of Night and Day with Tom Cruise, Cameron Diaz, and it's just blatant. Like there's no there's no there's no. The only thing was in Night and Day, it's about a battery thing or whatever. This was about a diamond because of course it's India. It's got to be about diamonds.
Gotcha. Well, I mean, based on a lot of the movies that you've posted, like whether it was the Superman or the Batman or Spider-Man from, the Bollywood versions,
Yeah,
Hollywood isn't even going to bother with coming after them for copyright because they're so nuts. They're
yeah,
basically covered by parody statute.
yeah. They're so bad. It's fantastic. My favorite so far is the original. Like this is where the Doctor Evil character came from. India has to take credit for it. It's like literally an old '70s movie where the guy's got his henchmen around a table and there's just sharks swimming behind him, and then he opens the floor, and like one of the chairs falls in, dropping one of the henchmen in, and you see these giant fake shark just come over and like snatch his head, and you can clearly see it's a mannequin. I'm like, this is what edibles are for. Like, if you just take an edible and watch a Bollywood movie, your life will change. Like, it's the greatest day ever, or days ever, depending on how good your edible is. Yeah.
Oh, Trey, I thought
Oh, I
you
thought
had
you were.
something there, like, or
Mm.
maybe you did like 5 minutes ago, and then it left your body along with your soul.
No, I just. I'm just saying it could have been a Hallmark actor and not on this fucking show.
Coulda, woulda, shoulda, dude. You're stuck here on Christmas. Speaking of, we have a very special program in store for you today on this Christmas Day, 2023. I am clearly in vacation mode, and I hope you are as well. Trey, I'm sure you're having to work this week, and it's probably better for everybody that way. And
Jeez.
Raj, I'm not sure if you got any Christmas gigs, but other than the next Hallmark thing, which I really do hope you get, because I would actually love to be on set at a Hallmark movie sometime just to see what that's like.
Yeah.
But I decided this year to for us to share a few of our favorite things from this previous year of shows here inside the Treehouse. And so I asked you, Trey, and asked you, Raj, and even asked it of myself. Hey, find one or two of your favorite moments from the show, and we'll share it with everyone and can relive the happiness and joy that we hope this show brings you, but at the very least, it brings us, even when we're giving each other just unmitigated shit, or maybe especially in those moments. So today, I'm going to start with one of Raj's favorite things, and this was many episodes ago, but it feels like yesterday.
I know.
And that was when we got on a little bit of a sort of a tangent for a couple of episodes about lesser known celebrity siblings. And our favorite, or Raj's favorite of those,
Yes.
was what Don Swayze, brother of Patrick Swayze, might possibly be doing nowadays. You have things holding up besides Don Swayze and
Every time you say Don Swayze now,
and the fact that I recognized Gary Busey's son at the table next to us at a now defunct bar in Dallas.
Every time you say Don Swayze, I just expect a manager of an Applebee's like to walk over like, "Hey, how's it going, guys? I'm Don Swayze. I'm the general manager of this Applebee's."
All right, so maybe the Roadhouse reboot isn't all we thought it would be.
It's just Texas Roadhouse.
Dalton's long lost brother. Don.
Don Swayze in Texas Roadhouse. He finds himself short-staffed
and out of roles. I know they say sometimes it's uncouth to laugh at your own stuff, but God damn it, that's funny.
That is, it pops up in the weirdest places. I was literally, before we decided we're going to do this for today, for Christmas, the clip show, I was literally walking Sam, my dog, and I just out loud, for no reason, went, Don Swayze, and just started laughing. I don't know. There was nothing on the walk that reminded me of Don Swayze.
You didn't even look up and see a Texas Roadhouse, or
nothing,
or look next to where Sam had just pooped and noticed a roll.
Nope. I was just walking saying, even shit. I was just walking saying, we're just having a good time, and I out loud just to myself, and I had to look around to make sure nobody saw me, but I just out loud went, Don Swayze. And then just kept walking the dog, and I started thinking, I was like, why did that just happen? And I just
did you see a Dr. K or something like that?
Just a canned Shasta. The Shasta on the ground. No, I don't know what it was, but I just out loud said it, and it made my day. Like, I was like, this is Don Swayze.
I think the only thing that would have made that more perfect is, were you looking down when you said it?
Maybe, yeah, I believe so.
Is if when you said it, you just looked up and looked slightly to the right, and you happen to see Don Swayze standing up against a tree,
yeah,
and just give you that nod, like,
yeah, that'd be cool.
That would be cool. Then he just slowly walks away towards his shift at the Texas Roadhouse.
He just puts on his Texas Roadhouse manager's polo. It's time for my shift.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks, Don. Like, do you think he says that to the ladies when he's done making passionate love?
I hope so.
I
also hope that he's kind of like Candyman. You say his name 5 times and he just appears with a steak and some rolls.
It's like, I'm Don Swayze, and now it's time for my shift. And then he just leaves
as he puts his cigarette out on the ground.
You're in the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com. You're in the Treehouse. us online at treehouseonair.com.
This segment of the Treehouse is brought to you by our friends at Cook DFW Roofing and Restoration. Give them a call for your free roof inspection, especially if we get some inclement weather over the holidays. You're going to want to give them a call to have them come out and check to see that your roof is intact, no leaks, no damage. 833-COOK-DFW or cookdfw.com. Also, that first segment was brought to us by our friends at the Dallas Comedy Club. You can get comedy 5 nights a week, most of the time, at the Dallas Comedy Club in Deep Ellum, your new home for comedy in DFW. For ticket info, go to dallas-comedyclub.com. That's dallas-comedyclub.com. And in addition to the comedy, they also actually have a really nice bar, which is not easy to come by. Nice, safe bar in Deep Ellum.
And a great patio. Like,
and that's a phenomenal patio, yeah.
Yeah. That's
So
one of the things that I was most impressed with is they have a super nice patio.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, and then everybody hangs out, so that's kind of a nice thing. Like all the comics hang out and the headliners hang out, so a lot of fun, a lot of laughter happens there.
It makes me wonder, because Raj, I know you're big on conspiracies.
Yes,
it makes me wonder if, I'm not saying Ian specifically from Dallas Comedy Club, but what if Dallas Comedy Club in general, made the situation or the neighborhood a little sketchy, a little rough, a little gunshotty, by design. So you make the heart of Deep Ellum really terrifying. So everyone will be like, well, I'll just go to Dallas Comedy Club because it's right there on the safe edge. It's a fun spot, and I don't have to go all the way into Deep Ellum where they like to shoot people and run people over with their cars. Instead, we'll go to Dallas Comedy Club. Maybe it's by design.
Yes, because I would. I don't know if you've ever met Ian in person, but a 6'3", 6'4", gangly improv actor has figured out how to make Deep Ellum a nightmare.
Hey man, never judge a book by its cover. I have learned that in my life.
He's just standing on the corner like, yes, and motherfucker.
You know what? I realize now, like, this is supposed to be one of our non-explicit episodes, but it's Christmas, so whatever. We'll just make sure to check the E box next to it when we upload this one.
I was looking. You always have us make a note of the time, so I was looking at the time to see where you can edit this out or bleep this out. So,
thanks, Raj, for letting us know when Trey and I can insert your bleep.
Yeah. Well, normally when I say something, and I've caught myself, and I see you do it because I'll say something, and then I'll see you like get your notepad and note the time.
I'm like the a-hole student, the teacher's pet when the teacher leaves the room, and then I'm like, Raj said a naughty word. I'm going to write his name down.
Yeah, and so I didn't see you reach for the pen, and there was no notebook. So I was like, I just kind of looked up. I was like, maybe when we cut, he'll be like, man, you can't keep saying shit like that.
Hey, no, Raj, you want to know why Dan's so relaxed about this and flippant? He's going on vacation. I have to do the editing, so he doesn't give a fuck.
Let me put my naughty hat on here. I've been found out. There are 3 great detectives in our world. One is Sherlock Holmes. 2 is whatever that character's name is. That Daniel Craig plays in those 2 movies. I think it's Benoit. And then it's you, Trey. You are the 3rd great detective on our planet.
What movies do you watch that Daniel Craig was in? What movie?
Knives Out.
2 of them. The Knives Out movies. The first Knives Out, and then the second one was The Glass Onion, a Knives Out story.
Gotcha.
He plays I believe it's the great detective Benoit Blanc.
Do you have like a never-ending like gift card to an AMC? Like why are you going all the time to see the weirdest movies?
Well, Glass Onion was on Netflix, and I think I saw Knives Out on Netflix as well. So blame Netflix.
Okay. Do you have somebody else's Netflix password? Is that what you're doing? I
actually have my own.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Well, at least it's mine now because my grandmother died.
Yes, but does Netflix know that?
As far as Netflix is concerned, Gigi moved to the Virgin Islands.
In the sky.
Yeah, they're both heavenly.
One
Speaking
more
of things that are
touristy-
heavenly,
Yeah.
so this is our very Merry Christmas clip show. So let's get into Trey's favorite thing of the year. This episode is a few of our favorite things. Raj's was Don Swayze working at Texas Roadhouse. Trey's is a very different scenario, although still very, very, very funny. This is one of those, honestly, both your choices were among my favorite things as well. So I had to kind of scramble to figure out what the hell I was going to choose. Because this one from Trey is one that as soon as I saw the news story, my years of experience told me we were going to get something good out of this.
Okay.
And by God, did we? I'm going to let the pilot here tell you basically what happened on this flight that forced them to turn around last Friday.
Negative. It's just a biohazard issue. We've had a passenger that had diarrhea all the way through the airplane, so they want us to come back to Atlanta.
Oh,
Yeah, I can't imagine there would be any happy passengers on that flight unless that flight just happened to be carrying the two girls from the Two Girls One Cup. I like this is back to live with us now. I love how Trey's initial disgust about the diarrhea through the plane and Raj's your disgust at me even mentioning the two girls from Two Girls One Cup.
Mhm. Yeah, wow. The fact that you remembered that, and I remember being on the air with you back over at Live 105.3 when we had the joy of watching this, or you had the joy of showing us this video.
Oh, I had the joy of showing many people that video back in the day. I never watched it all the way through. I can't physically do it.
Yeah, I think I lasted about 4 seconds, and I was in a corner like the kid from the Blair Witch Project, just in a corner, just waiting for death.
the opening music of that will literally cause me to gag.
Yeah.
That it is so Pavlovian.
That's one of those I need to check to see if it has any sort of copyright on it, because if it doesn't, I'll turn that sucker into a bumper on this show.
Now that we're just looking back on it now, have we checked to see if that was the Cowboys team plane going to Buffalo? Maybe that was maybe that's what was going on.
Oh, that would make sense. That would absolutely, yeah. I think we've cracked another case, gentlemen.
Wait, and Dan, you brought up something very interesting. If there is a copyright, infringement on Two Girls One Cup, I would be willing to do it, play it, and then because I want the guy to come forward who made that bleeping thing. I want to see the face of evil.
That's a good point. Let's go back to our diarrhea flight. I'm going to let the pilot here tell you basically what happened on this flight that forced them to turn around last Friday.
Negative. It's just a biohazard issue. We've had a passenger that had diarrhea all the way through the airplane, so they want us to come back to Atlanta.
Oh,
yeah, I can't imagine there would be any happy passengers on that flight unless that flight just happened to be carrying the two girls from the Two Girls One Cup.
They wouldn't even have had to turn around.
They just couldn't clean it off.
Looked like Pac-Man going down the aisle.
I'm laughing, but I also need to throw up. Had you not chosen that as one of your favorite things, it would have been mine. So kudos. You know what? I like a little round of applause for us. Yay, us. We did good. That was a good job right there. That's some entertaining stuff. Because there are lots of radio shows out there that strive to be funny on a daily basis, yet we trip over it, 2-3 times a week.
And sometimes hurt ourselves in the process.
You're in the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
You're listening to The Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
All right, we are back in the Treehouse now on a very special Christmas clip show. Yay! Merry Christmas, everybody! Avoiding the family with us. Yay! We'll get to my my clip here in just a moment. I wanted to Trey, you sent a text message. You said it's of your Christmas sweater that you were supposed to have at the road show, but it hadn't arrived yet.
Yes, and it still hasn't arrived, and I'm very disappointed.
Okay.
But I wanted y'all to see it because it is kind of a masterpiece.
Okay. All right. Well, let's save that for the very end.
Okay.
All right. Because if I know you, it's going to be worthwhile. Speaking of Christmassy things, I think my big head has been in the way for the majority of this episode, but let me just turn slightly. Can you see the TV screen over there behind me?
Mm-hmm.
Can you make out what that is?
No.
Trey gets glasses on and leans in. Raj leans in. Goes, hey, so both of you guys are nearsighted. Got it.
No. Presents?
It's like
Christmas
a
tree?
screensaver. It's a Christmassy screensaver channel on the Dish Network. I believe it's channel. There's a few options. It's like channel 198 or 199. I think this one's on 101. It's called Santa's Workshop 3.
Santa's Workshop 3.
Yeah, I don't know if that means there's a 1 and a 2 on some other channel, or if this is just the third year they've done it, so they call it Santa's Workshop 3. I don't know. But it's got Santa in a chair. What's he doing? Hang on. Yep, he's just sitting in a red chair in front of the fire. There's a train going around the room.
Oh, no, I have Spectrum.
I imagine Spectrum may have something similar, because I know on like on a Roku TV, when the screensaver comes on there, it'll be holiday themed as well, or they'll change it by the seasons. And I'll have a tendency to stare at that for far too long and try to pick out the movie references that I get, the little Easter eggs. But I got this Santa channel on just, to try to lean into the feeling of the season.
Gotcha. Okay. All whilst wearing a Hawaiian shirt.
Well, I am celebrating Christmas in paradise, so. All right. So let's get to now my selections. That's right. I said selections because in true Dan fashion, when I asked you guys to pick your favorite clips from our previous year inside the Treehouse, you both immediately knew which one you wanted. Raj, you went with Don Swayze in Texas Roadhouse. Trey, you went with the diarrhea flight and the Pac-Man ladies cleaning it for everybody. Me, however, I have a difficult time choosing one of anything. I learned a term earlier this year. It's called analysis paralysis, and I suffer from it all the goddamn time. Don't tell my wife I said that. But I just had a really difficult time choosing one, and I think that's a good problem to have because there's lots of good stuff from the show throughout the year. It's the stuff that we post on social media to let you know, hey, what's in this current episode, or here's what you're missing if you haven't listened in a while. It's just some good stuff.
I'm going to stop you there. You should have said one thing that has just cracked me up, though.
Mm-hmm.
Is now there's a new thing that Gen Z complains that they have menu anxiety.
Oh, no.
Bitches, we have been having menu anxiety all our lives. And it's hey, if you think it's bad now, wait till you get into a relationship, and then you have to answer the question, what do you want to eat?
I'm glad you brought that up, Trey, because that's going to be up in one of our next episodes called the Leftovers of 2023. One of the stories that we've had on our docket, but we haven't been able to get to. We're going to get to that one before the end of the year because obviously Trey has thoughts and I'm with you.
Yeah, I just think
so consider that a tease for the next episode.
It's brought to you by the Cheesecake Factory.
Mm-hmm. All right, scratch that punchline off of my notes.
You'll forget and bring it up next time anyway.
I will. Yeah. So here I would like to make sure I get the right one. So the first one I chose was one that we were all here for. And that was, if anything on this show, we make sure to make fun of ourselves at any possible opportunity.
Mhm.
And this is one of those times where I embraced my own misery, my own suffering, all for the laughter of others. Because I needed to talk about the neurological exam my wife made me take.
I was about to say.
And the results of it.
Okay, I was like Saint Dan the Pious here.
Where's that cross?
It's actually, there's one right there.
If you want to go hang yourself up on it, I'll hit play.
I need a bigger one. That's not quite big enough. I think that's only good for like one hand. All right, let's see if this is the one. Here we go. Here. Tell you basically, that's the diarrhea flight. Hang on. What? Here we go. When I went to that neurologist, I mainly focused on traditional head injuries. Football. There was a couple of times as a kid I just run into things head first. Normal stuff.
Were you the kid with the big pencil? Were you the kid that had the big jumbo pencil that you had to write with? Because you said as a kid running head first into things. We had that kid too. His name was Billy, and he had his name on his belt. And I don't think that was for anything other than he didn't know that there's another belt.
When you say, were you the kid that had the big pencil? What do you like? How big of the pencil are we talking?
The big jumbo pencil for the kid that didn't know how to. Billy,
the one that was roughly the same size as John Holmes' crank.
Yes, basically.
I did. I had the big pencil.
This is making so much sense now.
Hang on, it gets better. Not only did I have the big red pencil.
Yep, it was red. That's right.
It also had my name on it. Clearly, I still hang my head in shame at that admission. But it was oddly cathartic.
See, it's like therapy. Did you forget that you had the big pencil, or
no? I had that big pencil for a long time. Even well after I graduated to normal number 2 pencils, I still had, for sentimental sake, the big red pencil with my name on it.
How did they put your name on it? I never asked. Did they etch it in, or did they put like a little? Did they put like a little label on it?
I think it was a label.
So they went and bought a label maker for this pen, or did they like individually?
Trust me, Raj, that pencil was not the only thing they had to label for me. There was one other thing I wanted to play for you, and partly because, Raj, you weren't in the Treehouse for this particular episode.
Okay.
So I wanted to make sure you got a chance to hear it before 2023 went away.
Right.
Are you ready?
I am.
This is a story about, I believe, underage sex across the country.
Okay.
That someone had done like a study or a research type thing.
Okay.
Analysis uncovered that Mississippi was the state with the worst overall STD infection rate nationwide. They had an infection rate of 1,266 per 100,000 residents.
Wow.
That's a lot.
They can't teach anything else. They're damn sure not teaching sex ed.
Speaking of sex ed, young people are the ones being urged the most to be particularly vigilant. That was not the time to trip over my own tongue.
or the perfect time.
I can't remember if it was Robert or somebody else that had sent me a message saying like, "Did you do that on purpose?" I was like, "What does it matter? Purpose, not on purpose. It doesn't matter as long as you got some enjoyment out of it. It doesn't matter if I did it intentionally or not."
Yeah, I remember years ago I think it was Kentucky, one of the, and this should just let you know how creepy old white congressmen can be. It was a congressman from Kentucky that was trying to get the age of consent lowered to 14. And I was like, who brings up that legislation?
I remember that. Was that this year or was it last year?
Last year.
Yeah.
Yeah. He brought us like, this is what I like to bring to the table. We need to lower the age of consent to 14. I'm like, oh, he's trying to get ahead of a scandal.
Yeah, I think that's one of those where somewhere in the Republican Party of Kentucky, they need to tell him, like, look, we said we want to know what the young people think. It doesn't mean we want to change the age of consent. Jesus.
Well, they think I'm handsome. I'm like, well, that's not
the cousin Sally's single right now.
As much as I want to go, we have to show. You have to show us your Christmas sweater, Trey.
All right, check your phone.
My phone is charging, so I can't see it.
Oh, that might be. I'm really glad you're not driving right now, Raj. This is one of those where, for a living, that I sometimes make well. I make a living describing things for people that may not be able to see them. Right, been doing that for 25 years now.
Mm-hmm.
This may be one of the most difficult things I have to describe ever.
Okay,
but I'm going to try. So I'm going to describe it. And then I'm going to show it to you, Raj.
Okay.
So this is the sweater, Trey, you wanted to wear at the road show?
Yes.
If this sweater had arrived and you wore this at the road show, I don't think we could have had a road show because the best thing would have happened as soon as you walked through the door and we saw this sweater.
Okay.
But at least we get it now.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So it's a red Christmas sweater with green and white decoration. Across the top, underneath some snowflakes, it says in red letters, Merry Christmas. Then along the bottom, also in red letters with a white background, above some snowflakes, it says, "You filthy animal," like in Home Alone. And then the center of the sweater is the best part.
Okay.
So the words, Merry Christmas, you filthy animal. Got it?
Yep.
Underneath Merry Christmas and above you filthy animal is a depiction of a reindeer. But it's not any traditional reindeer. No. This is actually Trey's dog Daisy's face on the face of a reindeer while wearing a Christmas sweater. Merry Christmas.
That's that's great.
And she has antlers on top of her ears.
And she has little antlers on top of her ears, which would be hysterical because antlers would weigh down that apple head of hers.
Yeah. She would look like the Grinch's dog.
Yeah, you would have won that day.
This is, I think, easily the greatest Christmas sweater I have ever seen. And I think Trey, let's go ahead and do this. Will you send this to Chris Cohn at the Pirate Printing?
Yeah.
I want to go ahead and get ahead of the curve for next year's shirts / sweaters. Because I need like 10 of these.
Yes.
She's even smiling and she got a little tongue sticking out.
That's what I said. That's what made me so happy. I was like, there's a smile on her face.
Oh, this has been fun. Merry Christmas, you guys. Raj, happy Monday.
I didn't even know it was Monday.
You're welcome.
And Trey, I don't know. Happy you don't get beat by belt day. But yeah, Merry Christmas to you guys.